Well, in the war of narratives, China may be on the back foot, but when it comes to the business of coronavirus, China is far ahead. China is boosting its medical exports. China is giving aid to the worst affected countries. For the struggling nations, this aid is a lifeline. The Chinese supplies are weapons to fight the deadly Chinese virus. So why isn't the world praising China? Because these Chinese products are living up to their reputation. They're substandard, even defective. Spain, Turkey and the Netherlands are returning medical supplies from China. Spain and Turkey received defective testing kits. Only 30% of these kits worked. 70% of the times they failed or gave the wrong results. The Netherlands has returned 600,000 face masks. Why? Because the masks did not fit and their filters did not work. Now, this is very serious. Defective equipment can cost lives in times like these, and yet the world continues to buy from China. Even India is buying medical gear from China. Why? Because there are no alternatives. You get Chinese or you get nothing. Before the coronavirus crisis, China made half of the world's masks, 50% of the global market share. China has more than 2,500 companies making face masks alone. 2,500 companies. After the outbreak, China increased its capacity by 450%. Try to process that. The rest of the world is still in lockdown and China is on an accelerator. No wonder the world depends on China for medical supplies, and this includes what is called PPE, personal protective equipment. As of 2018, China supplied 43% of the global demand. What is personal protective equipment? Face shields, protective garments, mouth-nose protection equipment, gloves, goggles, 43% of the global market. That's what China controls. It has a strong grip on pharmaceutical supply as well. America and Europe import nearly 80% of their antibiotics from China. India is the leading supplier of high-quality medicines across the world, but Indian companies import 70% of their raw materials from China. So it is obvious that the world depends on China for supplies. But I come back to my question, why does the world depend on China? Because first, no other source was encouraged. And then China did not let any other source, any alternatives prosper. Backed by the government, Chinese companies offered more products at lower prices. They killed competition. China became the world's workshop, even in the field of medicine. Even when its supplies are potentially life-threatening, people continue to buy. The coronavirus outbreak has exposed the downside of dependence on China. The world's leading nations are paying a hefty price. For their health systems, this crisis is a double whammy. First, when the coronavirus emerged in China, Beijing closed its factories. So the global supply chain shut down or was disrupted. The health industry lost access to essential and critical supplies. And then came the second blow. The Chinese factories reopened and they began supplying to the world, but the world was locked down. Companies using Chinese raw materials were shut and consumers were getting faulty Chinese goods. Chinese medical supplies were playing with the lives of people. The coronavirus crisis is an opportunity for the world. The time has come for a major reset. Leading nations should wean themselves off Chinese suppliers. Developing economies like India can step in to fill the gap. New Delhi already is making major strides. India is not buying any test kits from China. Indian companies are making them at home.